Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Bragaton. Let's enter the Citadel and manage the Crusade from our new headquarters. A middle-aged paladin with a genial face salutes you. His sparse gray hair stands in fuzzy tufts on his head, giving him a distinctly unwarlike appearance. Everbright Crusaders reporting for duty. My name is Char Kobolin, and I'm at your service. It's probably pronounced Kiar. Yeah, pretty sure that's alliteration. I've always called him Char. Queen Galfrey is gathering the main attack forces in Erosian. She ordered us to replenish the losses suffered in Canabris and come here. We will support your troops. A tall dark-eyed lad is standing behind Char. He passionately echoes Char's words. We're ready to go to the front immediately. Allow us to be at the spear of the attack. The old Crusader calls the young man to order. More vague. Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't worry. No one will be defeating any demons without you. Char smiles kindly and tousles the boy's hair. Who have you brought with you? Everbright Crusaders mainly. We have a lot of volunteers who joined us. Those who arrived at the Queen's call but didn't want to sit in Erosian waiting for the main army to set off. All the hotheads know that the front is here. Char nods at the boy behind him, the one who's eager to fight. We picked up this one too. He walked to Canabris with an old sword in his hand, and a few copper coins in his pocket. He was going to keep walking, to kill the demons. Then he'd probably have laid siege the threshold, no doubt. The boy's cheeks go pink at the old man's gentle mockery, but he continues to stare ahead resolutely and boldly. Did you fight Canabris? How are things there? Not personally, no. The Queen summoned me and the bulk of our order to Erosian. Almost all those who remained behind in Canabris died, and the ones that didn't were disorganized and leaderless. But the order did not perish. New volunteers have been pouring into our ranks. We're licking our wounds. Canabris is rebuilding. Life wins out. People are coming from all over Avestan to help. Many are joining up with the Crusaders, just as it happened back in the First Crusade. Great. You'll be serving under my command. The Crusader gives you a friendly smile. It's an honor for us, Commander. Let's give the demons a dusting. I like Char as a character, or Kiar, as it's probably pronounced. I read that already.
We do it my way.
Well, let's talk to the folks in here, and then we'll manage the crusade a bit. Look who it is. Hi. Have you figured out how the demons have been sneaking up on us? Anevia answers with scarcely concealed irritation. No dice. Our scouts crawled all over the area, down every hole. Nothing. The Grey Road was completely empty, and then bam, a whole army popped up like a jack-in-the-box. My only lead is a few scouts who didn't come back from the gorges to the southwest. We found no sign of secret paths or underground passageways, and definitely no route we can use to quietly move a large force through. But I feel it in my gut. There's some evil scum out there. We just have to look harder. Of course, I could send out more scouts. They might just disappear like the first ones. Why don't you go there yourself and find out what's what? Anevia punches her fist into her palm. You know, I'd like to give that rat Nura a good shake. How long was she serving the demons, I wonder? I bet good silver if I turned her upside down, and shook her as hard as I could, something interesting would fall out. Not just lice. What do you think of my new powers? Anevia looks at you with a tinge of embarrassment. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not brown-nosing here. But you are the commander the Crusade needed. Righteous, good, and with justice in their heart. Sometimes you look at these high and mighty true believers, and their perfectness makes you want to throw up. But I don't get that from you. I jump into the jaws of a demon for you. Did you find out anything about where Monago is now? Anevia shakes her head sharply. Nope. Zero zilch. A whole lot of nothing. The scum melted into thin air. Soldiers saw her jump out the window, run through the square in front of the Citadel, and suddenly disappear. Keep that in mind for later. We haven't heard anything from her since, and I don't like it. I'm telling you, this is bad. First of all, her kind don't just give up. If we can't see her, it means she's setting a trap for us somewhere we don't expect. I mean, it'd be great if the Demon Lords just gobbled her up for all her failures. I think that's too much to hope for. But that's not the worst part. We have a more interesting question, you know? I wonder where she teleported from the city, if by that time you'd already hung the banner. The soldiers are saying it probably wasn't in full force by then, but you and I both know that's dross. She wasn't supposed to be able to teleport, but she did. The question is, how? Irabeth's eyes are vacant. Her thoughts are clearly somewhere far away. Seeing you, though, she snaps to attention. Hail, Commander. How's the Eagle Watch doing in Canabras? Everything is going well. I was wary of handing over the reins at first. I was afraid that everything would fall apart without Anevia and me. But I took a risk and left a very clever lad in charge. A tiefling as it happens. He infiltrated the cult alone. They couldn't imagine a tiefling wouldn't be on their side. He exposed an entire cell. I personally knighted him, just before the city was attacked. Of course, there are many who weren't happy about it, but it's not my job to make people happy. He hasn't disappointed. He's built up the Order's ranks again, and is running everything so smoothly. It's as if the demon attack never happened. He's proven more than once that I left Canabras in good hands. But I admit, it's so strange to think that such a small order as the Eagle Watch now has 2 chapters, one in Dresden and one in Canabras. I don't remember if this dialogue was here before A Dance of Masks came out, because we'll meet this character in that DLC. Yeah, I'm trying to recall. We need to talk about what happened during the attack on Dresden. Irabeth nods curtly. Yes, I was shamefully faint-hearted. Praise Amade, it didn't affect the course of the battle. Still, my behavior is unworthy of a knight, even less a commander. Under the circumstances, leaving my position would be a tantamount to desertion. Still, as your advisor, I strongly recommend you release me from my position as head of the Order, strip me of my knighthood, and send me to serve in the Condemned. You deserve these titles more than you. Don't blame yourself. Under the circumstances, you did everything possible, and more besides. Thank you, Commander. The gratitude in Irabeth's voice is sincere. A spark of enthusiasm appears in her eyes, which had grown dull over recent weeks. The half-orc salutes you sharply. For a moment, you once again see the Irabeth who is ready to protect the defender's heart to her dying breath. Thank you for still trusting me, more than anyone else does in this crusade. Even more than I trust myself. Despite your words, Irabeth obviously still feels unworthy of her commander's rank. Changing her mind will require more than platitudes. Perhaps you can bolster her by appointing her to a position where she can work more closely with rank-and-file soldiers, those whose faith in their commander remains undimmed. I thought this should be a quest entry, not a dialogue entry. Alright, happy to be of service. May Shaitlin brighten and vivify your day. Irabeth, have you made this golem an officer? Or is it just standing here for no reason? There's a reason it's standing in plain view. If anyone tries to steal it, I'll see them. I may not be thrilled about having to drag this fortune around with us, but it is my duty to protect the treasury, and this fortress is the safest place in the area. Alright, same stuff. Alright, Regil. Regil's pale yellow eyes freeze in an expression of polite attention. Knight Commander, greetings. Still don't think that needs an exclamation mark. That's not Regil. Though, in the battle for the Lost Chapel, I did describe him as being enthusiastic. There are a couple of events. I'm going to focus on getting one of these relics. Alright, so the fate of the phylactery of Stevanius the Rotten. A skilled craftsman could do some work on the relic. The relic will be augmented. I'll issue that decree first. So all of the relic decrees are tied to diplomacy. I I kind of wish they'd mix it up and some were tied to different Crusade stats, because that can get really backed up, having it just be one. Alright, we have a couple of events we have in our midst. So these events, you'll have 2 to 3 generic options, then typically there's a Mythic Path option and a companion option. You'll know it's a companion option because it comes after the Mythic Path option. Spies of the Abyss have attempted to infiltrate Dresden to find out the commander's plans. It was only by chance that they were stopped. The officers have suggested an increase to security in anticipation of new attempts by the demons. So we could increase the number of interrogators. That'll give us 10 inquisitors for our army. Introduce collective responsibility. That'll give us leadership points and deducts 200 military experience points. I don't like deducting any of my Crusade stats if I can help it. Typically, the companion ones are net positives. I think. I don't remember there being any that have a negative. So select trustworthy soldiers who will keep an eye on their comrades. I believe this is Sila's. And we'll get the Senior Comrade's Decree. So as 1,000 leadership points, Crusade morale increases by 30. So it's similar to this one. It's like a happy medium. So not as much leadership experience, but we don't lose military experience either. Yeah, so Sila will personally talk to the best among the Crusaders, and select the most loyal and pure of heart to look for spies. These warriors will also serve as a model for common soldiers to follow. Cursed children. Demons have been stealing children in Canabris and possessing their bodies so they could get close enough to Crusaders to deliver a dagger strike. The officers are asking how they should proceed when encountering the possessed. So we could, saving the children must come first. Increases Crusade morale by 30, and all units receive the vulnerable feat for 30 days. -2 penalty to armor class. The safety of soldiers must come first. We'll just get military experience points. That's objectively better than this one. I don't care about morale because you can maintain morale just by fighting battles. And then hunt down the kidnappers unlocks the Hunt for the Kidnappers Decree. That'll give us 1,500 diplomacy experience points and 60 energy points. So I'm probably going to go with that. Because, I mean, saving the children must come first is tied to hunting down the kidnappers. You stop the kidnappers, the children will be safe. As will the soldiers. Atlanta is willing to select a number of fighters who will track down and slay the kidnappers. Should they succeed, the nation will applaud them, and Medevian clerics will offer a solemn prayer for their protectors. Alright, all sorts of decrees here. We have orders to Irabeth. Irabeth's breakdown, which occurred before the assault in Dresden, still haunts her mind. She should be reminded that she is, will always be a hero in the eyes of the soldiers by appointing her as a commander of a small squad of Crusaders. Unfortunately, because Irabeth is occupied as squad leader, her duties in the Crusade's command have to be transferred to someone else. Irabeth has been appointed squad commander in the Vanguard. Then forming the councils. There's a lot of talking involved in this. Forming a staff council. One can command a small unit alone, but to manage an army one needs a staff council. Surrounded by experienced advisors, the commander will be able to make decisions affecting the life and morale of the entire army. And forming a logistic council. The success of military action depends on a regular supply of everything troops need, and the judicious distribution of resources. The logistic council, made up of experienced officers, will ensure there is no chaos in the army while the commander's attention is focused on the front line. And that's all we can do right now. Let's go to the map. Well, campaign, I guess. Recruit. Units for our army. Alright, so some champions. Champions are really good. And they're probably my favorite of the infantry options later on. So, our default units, like the footmen and archers, they'll get replaced by more powerful units. Depending on which choice you make. So you can get, marksmen, I think, bandits. Huntsmen might be another option for the archer upgrade. Footmen can become champions or shield bearers. Another option. Each companion will offer you a different unit upgrade. Oh yeah, and our forts, we can build stuff in these. Don't want to forget to do that. I'm going to start the southeast and work my way up. Alright, so Gargoyle Canyon. So typically I default to the Alchemist Laboratory. And also, building buildings gives you logistics experience. It's the best way to level up your logistics. So the Wise Alchemist stores magic in glass vials so that it can be unleashed on the battlefield at the decisive moment. Alchemist Laboratory provides a +10 bonus to energy for all generals. This is really good for your caster generals. Garrison Archery Range. A place where Crusaders hone their shooting skills and become proficient archers. A Garrison Archery Range increases recruitment growth for the main archery range by 25%. Only one Garrison Archery Range can be built in each fort. So that'll give us more archery units. Then the Garrison Barracks is the same thing, but for your infantry. A large barracks where ordinary infantry troopers sleep, eat, train, and enjoy their unsophisticated entertainment. Garrison Barracks increase recruitment growth for the main barracks by 25%. Only one Garrison Barracks can be built in each fort. And we could do the stables, but we can't recruit cavalry yet. And I'm pretty sure these don't apply to mercenary units, which our Hell Knights are. And then I like the hospital as well. The hospital is where clerics and healers tend wounded soldiers so that their wounds will quickly heal and they can return to duty. The hospital provides a +5% bonus to infirmary size for all generals. I like that so that I don't have to worry about keeping my units alive in battle as much. Alright, so all we need is the hospital. We need 60, whatever this is. How much do I have? 18. So typically I build the same 4 buildings in each fort. And then once we upgraded them to a bastion, I think it's the second upgrade, you can put a teleportation circle there, which is pretty great. Alright, so if I rest here, we'll have to talk with our councils. I'm not going to do that yet. We'll leave and come back. Oh, my armor's off.
Follow if you dare.
Alright, let's look at our quest and decide which one we want to do first. We'll probably head to the south and try and get our companion back. We could also do dragon hunt with Grey Boar.
I'm off.
So on the dragon hunt will also get us the storyteller back, so we can start getting some of those relics. So we do need to bring Grey Boar. I think we'll leave Albert behind for this, because they fill a similar role. And I'll worry about the council stuff later. Let's give him his mythic feat. So we want Last Stand. Mythic Sneak Attacker. You sneak attacks deal an additional 1d6 damage. And... seems pretty good. Let's see. Oh, we want Corruptor. We're going Assassin. Corrupt to Poor. There we go. Your poisons and diseases ignore immunity. So he doesn't have any of the poison abilities yet, but this is just so that's covered. Alright, so we need to head towards not Winter Sun yet. We need to head all the way west. That's right, Grimwood. We also have an option to teleport back to Dresden, so it's really convenient. You head out, you do what you got to do, and before the corruption, you know, becomes too bad, you just teleport back to Dresden, rest up, and sally forth again. Can I go past the Temple of the Good Hunt? No. Funny little faces you have when you're afraid. How deliciously pathetic you all are. Alright, so we need to get fire protection up immediately.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
The light, take you! This'll leave a bruise.
This is one of the reasons why I like Last Stand so much, because it's easy to get messed up by Devara. You don't have it.
Strike!
Why don't you just accept your fate and become my dinner? I'll eat you all soon enough. To get ambushed by Devara the dragon a couple times on the way to Grimwood.
I do what I must.
But after that point, the hunter becomes the hunted. Pretty sure this is one of the, or the only, you know, quote, random encounter. I should call them, like, world events instead. Because they're not really random.
I'm gone.
It doesn't have loot on the map somewhere. You'll see that we have fast healing over here from our Commander's Banner. Alright, I'm going to call it here, and next time we'll continue our pursuit of Devara the Dragon. And next time we return to Dresden, we'll have to take care of our councils. But we'll deal with that later. Don't want to do too much reading in the same episode. Want to break it up since we've been in Dresden for the past few episodes. Real quick, let's fix up land as well.
Search for the beauty with your heart, not your eyes.
Alright, I'm going to call it here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.